I'm so glad we moved here from London. As Tennyson said, getting away from the noise and smoke of the town, away from the pea soupers, it's so much nicer here. Me and Laura, well, I ought to call her Mrs. Maybrick now, we can just get on the train and come out into the countryside in a few minutes. Or we can go to St John's and get on the tram going up the pier. And so we can imbibe the ozone. That just means walking around in the fresh air. It's really good now they finished the work on the pier. Now it's electric, because those horse-drawn trams, they were so old-fashioned. You know, I used to work with Mrs. Maybrick when she was just plain Laura Withers. She was the master's housekeeper and I was the cook, so we were equals. And then, during the reign of the dear old Queen, there was this terrible scandal. The master's brother, he was murdered by his wife, American lady called Florence. Hanging was too good for her. But actually, she did escape hanging. She's in prison for the rest of her life with hard labour. And the way they caught her was she was soaking flypapers in water to get the arsenic out. She said it was to make her skin lighter, and to be honest, I do that as well, but I don't poison anybody with the arsenic. Well, anyway, that left their two children, Bobo and Gladys, virtually orphans, and the local doctor took them in, and he took care of them. And then 4 years later, the master suddenly decides he's going to move to the Isle of Wight. And he buys this lovely house, Linthorpe, over in Cobbett's Lane. And he dismisses all the London servants and he marries Laura. Well, I ask you, she was 40. Why wouldn't marry her? Well, anyway, Laura asked me to be her companion, so she's got at least one friendly face here on the island because she didn't know anybody here. So we all up sticks and we move here to the island, and we got a new cook now, Mary, and then Master goes and gets the two children and he gives them to Laura to look after, which was really nice for Laura because she's never had any children herself, and of course she's too old now. And one of her duties that she really enjoys is hosting tea parties for the less fortunate children of Ryde in the town hall. Well, yeah, of course she can use the town hall. She's Lady Mayoress. Oh, didn't I tell you, Master's Mayor? Yeah, this is his second term of office. And he's not only Mayor, he's GP for the County of Hampshire. He's Vice President of some fancy college up in London. He's President of I don't know how many clubs, which is really odd because he doesn't actually play football or cricket or bowls, but he's Vice President of all those clubs. And he doesn't sail, but he's a member of the yachting club, and he hasn't got a bicycle, but he's a member of the cycling club, and he's even a member of the Temperance Society, but he's not teetotal. And he's very important. Of course, he had an awful lot of work to do last month when the King was crowned, and Laura, she gets to go to all these functions and dress up and meet all these famous people. She's met Sir Arthur Sullivan. To be honest, the Master wasn't best pleased when Arthur Sullivan was knighted. After all, the Master has sold far more music than Sullivan and his collaborator, what's he called, Gilbert. Oh, didn't I tell you? The Master's a famous composer. Yeah, you never heard of him? No, but you've heard of songs by Frederick Weatherly, and Weatherly's songs are put to music by Stephen Adams. Well, Master, he is Stephen Adams, and that's how come we got this lovely gramophone. You see, Boos's, you know Boos's, the publishers, they made a mistake when they were publishing one of Master's songs, and he got quite angry about it, and so Boosie's, they gave him this gramophone to calm him down. And you know, this is the first gramophone on the Isle of Wight. Yeah, it's lovely, and Master's so pleased with it. And every evening there's kind of an after dinner ritual. Once the lamps are lit, we all troop into the hall and we sit in this kind of alcove, and Master brings out his record collection. He's so careful with them. He cleans them with a camel hair brush or a silk handkerchief. And we all sit there and we listen to this lovely music on the gramophone. All except Laura, Mrs. Maybrick. She just lies down on a couch and goes to sleep. She's not at all musical. I really don't know why the Master married her. It's really a bit odd. She don't like music at all, whereas me, I love music, and this one's my favourite. Last night I lay a-sleeping, I dreamed a dream so fair. I stood in old Jerusalem beside the temple there. I heard the children singing, and ever as they sang, methought the voice of angels from heaven in answer rang. Methought the voice of angels from heaven in answer rang. Jerusalem, Jerusalem, lift up your gates and sing. Hosanna in the highest, Hosanna to your King. Hosanna in the highest, Hosanna to your King. Oh, is that the time? I've got to get the gramophone back before Master realises I've borrowed it.